Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of That's Loud with Tegan. So I've just got back from doing my first international for Jamaica, and we competed at Addington and we did a 3-star international, which is the highest level of an international that you can go for a power rider. Other than, well, even when you go to the Paralympics and the World Games, it's still a 3-star. It's just an elevated level. I don't think they called it a 4-star, but it's just like an elevated level. So I'm riding basically at the high level that I can anyway. But you can progress by going to different shows and different I don't even know what to call it, because we don't have like a level beyond 3-star, but now that I'm riding for Jamaica, I had the opportunity to campaign for the World Games and for the next Paralympics, so it's a very different way of like competing this year. But as I said, we just got back from our first 3-star of the season, and we did really well, to be honest. We did better than what I predicted. We got the scores that we needed to be able to qualify for the World Games, which was the only thing that we were trying to get really. But I had a really fun time, and I wanted to like explain a bit more on the behind the scenes and how it all works. So, because I am an individual rider, and because I'm a grade 1 rider, I do a lot of everything myself now. So I handle all of the admin side of it and all of the team side of it. Like, I have to have my coach comes with me to my shows, and then I have a groom that comes with me to look after Coco and do like her day-to-day routines, because I'm not able to look after my stuff and ride, and my mum is definitely not horsey enough to be able to look after Coco and like get her ready for a show. So we have our team that comes with us to the internationals, and I love my team. I feel like it took a while for me to find the right people that fit into the team, but I'm really happy with how the show went and how smooth it ran. It definitely was the smoothest show that I've been to. So on the first day of the show, we don't actually compete. We just do a trot up and a vet check, which ended up being a lot earlier than what we thought it was going to be. Well, not really. The trot up was at 2 o'clock, which is fine. I think last year it was at 1 maybe, but because of where it was, we had to leave the yard by, I think we left the yard at 8 in the morning to be able to get there on time, to get everything offloaded and set up, to get seen by the vet and get her checked, and then get her platted ready for a trot up at 2. So it's a bit of a long morning for us, but we did all that. We got there pretty much on time. We got there quite early actually. We had time to like sit and have a drink, which was nice. And then my team got to work very efficiently and got Coco ready for the trot up, got her looking beautiful and got her walking around and trotting up, practicing before they go in. And yeah, that went really smoothly. She trotted up really fine. With Coco, there's like a fine line that she needed like really cool, calm, collected, or in the trot up she just won't stop. So I'm always curious when watching other people trot up my horse. I kind of think, what mood is she gonna be in today? But she was really chill. She had no issues in the trot up, which was nice. She got cleared to compete, which is always a good thing. I've rarely seen in para sport someone get denied to compete from the trotter, but they usually get denied from the vet check before. But I've never seen anyone denied for the trotter. But I've seen a few people have to go again, but never denied. So at least for now we've had good luck and we're fine. And Coco was clearly cleared to compete, which was lovely. And then we waited a few hours and then got her tacked up to do the arena familiarization, which is when you just ride her around the arena that you're gonna compete in, so that she can look at everything and make her and the rider calm. And it's just like a first ride in that area, which I always enjoy doing, but sometimes it's good for me not to do it, because I think probably in that moment is when it's most stressful, because it is like 4 or 5 riders in the same area at the same time. And I think when I was doing my arena walk, there was 3 people in the arena and then 3 people going around the outside of the arena. And Coco is like the way that I describe it is that she's not really a horse. She's a people horse. She likes people. She's not a fan of other horses. So in that environment, she can get a bit tense and a bit like strung up. But she still held it together and she was still pretty calm. But I probably found it more stressful because I'm not used to riding in an arena with so many other people. And it was very hard to get her attention on me when there was so much going on around us. So in the end, we decided to only do a little time in the arena, and then we went into the warm-up arena and we had a good training session there, and she was really good and came back to me very well, and was very, I don't know, we just had a really good ride to end off with that like stressful moment in the arena, which is really nice. And then after that, we kind of wait until we get our times for the next day. And the one thing that is really funny is that when I used to ride for Britain, because there's so many riders for Britain, they have a team manager that goes to the meeting to delegate who rides for what time and whatever. Now that I'm an individual, technically I could go to the meeting myself, but I sent my coach to the meeting to be my manager, and it was just very entertaining because it was a world that we've never entered before. And I don't know, I found it really funny seeing how they were like arguing over who goes when and like trying to figure it out. And really all we needed the time. We didn't really mind where we are, so we were just waiting for us to be doing a time, which I think we got our official time at like, I think it was 8 p.m. 8 p.m. the night before the first competition, so it was quite late, and those times didn't actually go online until like 9 p.m. So people that weren't at the meeting didn't get their times until quite late in the evening, but it's always like that, so we're quite used to it. And then, so the next morning, one thing that I really enjoy about the 3 stars is that I have to worry about nothing, because my team was so good and they all know their job. All they have to do is turn up and ride, which makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to stress about taking Coco out for a walk, getting up early to feed her. I don't have to worry about the hay, like everything is done so that I just don't have to stress, which is something that, but it's not all the stress that I can't physically do everything, so I have to have these people do it for me, because if I do it, I would then be exhausted and I won't be able to ride to my best ability. So that is why they are there, but it is also good to not have to worry about not have to worry about anything. I just have to be there for my time when I have to ride, which is very nice. But anyway, I always get there about an hour early so that I can get myself dressed and have a chat with the team, make sure that everything's good. And then I start my own warm-up routine, which I actually enjoy so much. I enjoy my warm-up routine, like, to the T, but I've been perfecting it over the last year, and well, the key aspect of my warm-up routine is that I will get to the arena at the same time of my horse. My coach rides her for half an hour, 20 minutes, and while my coach is riding her is when I then do my warm-up routine by the arena. And my warm-up routine consists of having my headphones on and listening to my playlist that I created for that. But I have a warm-up playlist that I listen to before every show, and it's an hour long, but it's on shuffle, so sometimes I don't hear the same songs, sometimes I do, but I like to change it up now and again. But I love that playlist because it just gets me hyped and in the mood. And then I always eat an apple before my test, and I walk the floor plan of my test on the grass, so that one, I know where I'm going, and two, I can mentally know all of the little half halts or little movements or little body position adjustments that I want to make within that test. And obviously, I don't ride it to a T like how I walk it, but it just reinforces it in my head. And especially the team test, which I find the hardest to ride, but only because it's so complicated in like in a lot of left and right. You're constantly going a different direction to what you were. And the first time I rode that test properly, I did it at a Premier League, and I went wrong twice. So I had the thing that I had the thing with that test that I go down the centre line, and I'm like, okay, is it left or right? Is it left or right? I don't know. So now, every time I ride that test, I walk it out before I ride it, and then I enter off the lane that I'm going to turn at the end. So with the team test, it's always left at the end, so I enter off the left lane, so that my brain remembers that it's left. And then, after I turn left, it's literally left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, for every other step. So it helps me to remember it, kind of. But anyway, I forgot what I was in the aspects of things, but all of the rides went really well, to be honest. The first day, Coco was very, she was very hyped. She was very happy to be there. She was very excited, shall we say. My coach, she would never tell me this in the moment, but she was a bit fearful when I got on, because she was quite hyped. And after I got off, she was like, yeah, I did hold my breath the whole time for that test. And I was like, yeah, I understand why you did. She was very hyped, and we had a little spook in one of the corners, because there was a crowd of people and it was just noise, and she got a bit spooked by it. But even with that spook, we got 64%, 64 point something %, which is like pretty consistent for me. And I feel like if we hadn't have had that spook, and if my hopes were actually hopes, then it would have been a lot higher. So I was quite happy with that. And then we also got to remember that this was my second show ever in like 6 months. So when I actually thought about it, when was the last time you actually competed to this level, it was like 6 or 7 months ago. So I was quite pleased that my first score and results after 6 months was still like the same as what it was 6 months ago. It wasn't worse, it wasn't higher, and actually it would have been higher if I didn't have that spook, and if my hopes were better. So it made me feel a lot better in myself, because I knew that it's the first competition of the season and there's still a lot to improve on, but I always compete my best like later in the year. The first show is always probably my lowest scoring show, and then I get better later on in the year because I have more training, the weather gets better, my body gets better. So it made me happy to think that I've been consistent anyway. But one thing that I also noticed that this show, I had absolutely zero nerves, and which is a huge improvement for me, because last year I was a bag of nerves at every show, and not to be, what's the word? Oh, we can say vulgar, but not vulgar. But sorry if this triggered anyone. But last year I used to get really ill before every show, and I rode on an empty stomach. I rode feeling like I was gonna pass out. I made myself so ill with nerves before every show that I would just be so stressed until I would get in the arena, and then because I'm so focused I would have to forget about everything. But this show I had absolutely zero nerves, which almost kind of freaked me out even more, because I prepared so much before the show, expecting to feel nerves, and then I got there and I felt nothing, and I was like, whoa, this is not what I'm used to, but it's nice. And I even laughed to my mum, because I was like, I think it was day 2, I was a little bit, what day was it? Maybe the third day. The third day was earlier in the morning, it was 11 o'clock, and we not had breakfast. And I was saying to my mum, I feel really weird riding with a full stomach. It feels weird to me that I'm so full up right now. And I was like, maybe I should eat less before a show, because I'm so used to riding off an empty stomach that now my body feels really heavy and full. And we were just laughing about how different how much change has happened in the last year, and how somewhere in between the last show and now I have a different level of confidence in myself, and I have learnt to just let go of the nerves, and I think that there's less pressure on me now, and that also lifted the nerves, which was very nice. And I've also been working with my sports psychologist, and what does she call herself? It's sports performance coaching. I worked with both of them before I went to the show, so I had a lot of mental solutions to calm myself and to get myself prepared for each day, and a lot of it is just trusting my body and trusting my mind that I know what I'm capable of, because the moment that I self-doubt myself is when everything goes out the window and my brain goes into overdrive, and that's when it all goes downhill. So we had a lot of talks about how to mentally overcome my switch in my head that might change my mindset. But I never actually got to that mindset. The whole show, I was so happy, so content, so relaxed and calm. It was the most pleasant experience. I loved it. And now that we're done with that show, we're working towards the next show, which is Hartbury. Hartbury is in late June, the last day of June, and then 2 or 3 days into July. And I've never been more excited to actually train towards something. And I was laughing because when I was on the way home, I was like, okay, I have to get back in the gym, I have to train, I have to do this. You guys know me, I never want to go to the gym. So the fact that my brain was even yeah, we're excited to get back in the gym, I was like, whoa, this is crazy for me. But I am actually really excited to get training again and to see all my coaches, and we're going to start working with some external coaches in between, and working with coaches that I've worked with previously. So I've been seeing Damien Hallam for years. Damien saw me when I used to learn ponies from random people and take them to training, having sat on them for like 20 minutes. And he would always say like, what have you bought this time? And I was like, I don't know, but I just want to train. But yeah, me and Damien have been working together for a long time, and he is an amazing trainer. So I'm excited to do some of my training with him, and I'm also seeing one as a coach, which I'm not going to say online, but you will see, if you go to my Instagram and you follow my Instagram, when I do see him, we will do some content of some kind. But he is also one of my other favourites that I love, and that really understands me, because he's known me since I was like 5, but like, he knew me for ages, so I feel like we just understand each other to a different level. But yeah, I'm just really excited to actually start this journey, and I enjoyed that show so much, and I can't wait for Heartbreak. I can't wait to have more people and more friends come and watch. Again, if you do want to come and watch these shows, even if you don't want to come and see me personally and you just want to come and watch, all of the shows that I do are free to come and watch at any time. So all you got to do is just show up and join us. And I think I said last time, I did bring a pack of Uno cards, and I'm trying to have a little, what's it called, like league. So every show, I'm going to have a little competition with someone, and we're going to play a game of Uno, and I'm going to try and win. This show, I didn't win once, which was so annoying. I lost it every time, which was sad for me, because I used to be really good, but I need to practice that as well, so. But yeah, I had a great show, guys, and I'm really grateful for Jamaica for allowing me to be an athlete and for having me, and for working so hard towards this show. We had probably a 5-month turnaround to get everything ready, and they've been really helpful and really supportive. And I also want to thank my team and my sponsors and my supporters, because this sport is crazy and I couldn't do it on my own. I definitely couldn't do it without my team and my village. So thank you all for helping me so much. And I don't know, I'm just really excited for what may come next. So yeah. Thank you guys for sticking around, and thank you for listening to my podcast this week. Again, if you do want to see some actual behind the scenes of the show, the majority of it will be on my Instagram or on my TikTok, which is just Tegan Vincent-Cooke for everything. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, or listening even, and I'll see you next week for another episode. I'm now gonna go meet my cousin, and we're gonna go shopping to celebrate, because he got a new job and I just competed for Jamaica. So we're gonna go shopping together. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye guys!